Yeah, all the best to you and your family. Whatever you do, stay safe. I've been monitoring you guys on social media. Yeah, and apparently all get the cure now. Everybody doing what they want, yeah? So, my live is back up. I'm assuming it may be. Yeah, my live should be back up and running now. So, Trinidad and Tobago, our numbers continue to rise with COVID-19, with the president now being tested for the virus, persons being charged over the weekend for not wearing face masks. And the conversation on social media, in my humble view, is still very annoying. Persons are more interested in the fines and the fact that, according to them, quote-unquote, police may be hustling and finding a new way to ticket the citizens than to see the seriousness of what the fines are for. I think with a growing virus among a population that is already indisciplined, the fines would deter people. Well, I was wrong. Persons was still out this weekend doing as they please, not wearing their masks. Enough to be ticketed. So I want to give you guys what the COVID-19 figures in the Caribbean is looking like from the date September 4th. Figures may, of course, changed over the last few days, but I felt it important to share this with you to give you an idea as to where we stand on the virus. So according to the World Health Organization, confirmed Caribbean coronavirus cases as of September 4th is as follows. Dominican Republic, 96,629 cases, 1,801 deaths, 70,871 recovered. Puerto Rico, 16,101 cases, 445 deaths. Sorry, take that again, 455 deaths. French Guiana, 9,251 cases, 61 deaths, 8,772 recovered. Haiti, 8,301 cases, 210 deaths, 5,870 recovered. Suriname, 4,215 cases, 73 deaths, 3,318 recovered. Cuba, 4,214 cases, 100 deaths, 3,477 recovered. Jamaica, 2,896 cases, 29 deaths, 921 recovered. Bahamas, 2,386 cases, 50 deaths, 893 recovered. Aruba, 2,292 cases, 13 deaths, 1,031 recovered. Trinidad and Tobago, 2,030 cases, 30 deaths, 707 recovered. Guyana, 1,401 cases, 44 deaths, 805 recovered. Guadeloupe, 1,363 cases, 18 deaths, 336 recovered. U.S. Virgin Islands, 1,150 cases, 15 deaths, 1,010 recovered. Belize, 1,118 cases, 13 deaths, 255 recovered. Martinique, 754 cases, 18 deaths, 98 recovered. Turks and Caicos, 577 cases, 5 deaths, 220 recovered. Saint Martin, 504 cases, 19 deaths, 302 recovered. Saint Martin, 239 cases, 6 deaths, 79 recovered. Cayman Islands, 205 cases, 1 death, 204 recovered. Barbados, 177 cases, 7 deaths, 150 recovered. Bermuda, 174 cases, 9 deaths, 157 recovered. Antigua and Barbuda, 95 cases, 3 deaths, 91 recovered. Curacao, 78 cases, 1 death, 39 recovered. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 61 cases, 57 recovered. British Virgin Islands, 47 cases, 1 death, 8 recovered. St. Lucia, 26 cases, 26 recovered. St. Lucia seems to have the know-it-all to get around it. Grenada, 24 cases, all 24 recovered. Grenada also seems to understand how to handle it. Dominica, 22 cases, 18 recovered. St. Barthélemy, 18 cases, 13 recovered. St. Kitts and Nevis, 17 cases, 17 recovered. St. Kitts and Nevis also seems to understand what they have to do. Montserrat, 13 cases, 1 death, 12 recovered. Bonaire, 9 cases, 5 recovered. Sabah, 5 cases, 4 recovered. And Anguilla, 3 cases, all 3 were covered. Anguilla also seems to understand what needs to be done in order to curb the virus. So like I said, those figures, Trinidad and Tobago, is dated September 4th, 2020. Like I said, figures may have changed now as the days continue to go on, but we continue to monitor it. What do you think we're doing wrong or not doing in order to get these numbers down? Grenada is right next door. Grenada had 24 cases, 24 recoveries, and moving as normal. You know? What are we not doing? I mean, we're neck and neck with Jamaica at this point. And of course, we're hearing news that our president has been swabbed or would be swabbed because her close assistant tested positive. I'm going to the phone lines on this. We continue to monitor COVID-19. As much as we don't want to talk about it, we have to continue to look at it. It's in our face. We can't escape it. So let me say good afternoon and get some comments on the inside. Krishna Murad says no curfew and no lockdown, Aisha. That is what we're doing wrong. Anguilla is still the same and we are locked down, says someone messaging me from Anguilla. Yeah? Send those comments. Caller, you live?
No, I'm blessing my sister.
Blessings, brother.
No strength and blessing to you, and it's nice to hear everything is going super fast.
Thank you so much.
Blessed love, and I hope your guide and protect you in the start of the COVID-19. And I'm still kudos to the Minister of Education on this digital system for the youth of today. And we hope to get it right for the future. Aisha, you have it locked, you know. You get on to them, let them tell them how we feeling out here, you know. Get on to Dolly, get on to the Prime Minister, do what you can for we, you know. It's depending on you, you know. You're the voice of the people, you know. Tell us.
Thank you so much, Brother Ja. Love to you. Okay, so Shamika Williams says they need to tell the elderly to stay at home and strengthen their immune system. Joy says Grenada had a curfew and a lockdown. And of course, Miss Williams is saying it's the same thing in Anguilla. We are still on lockdown. So is it lockdown is what is missing from us addressing this thing on a serious note? Caller, you're live.
Hello, Aisha. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my dear.
A first-time caller to your program.
Where are you calling me from?
I'm calling from West Coast Town, Body High.
Thank you so much for calling.
Aisha, my problem is, in the beginning when this thing starts in Trinidad and Tobago, if the government and the corporation of this position, we will not be in this position today. Because the government telling us to do one thing, and the opposition saying something else. So what do you expect? I'm sure the Ireland is that bunch of happy people. They don't want nobody to tell them what to do. They just want to do what they want. So you have to say it's our fault. Because the government telling us what to do, and the opposition doing something and doing something else. So, that's what we have to do.
So you're saying it's lack of cooperation from our heads. It's what have us in this situation.
Yes, I should. Well, if the government telling us to do this and do that, and the opposition telling us to not to take COVID, and tension and life will do it, come on, man. What do you expect? Because they just don't care. Some of them just don't care. They just want to do what they want. And if you want to think the same, well, we can't tell them what to do. No. Which is a very bad example. This isn't for the children. Because if we are adults, Aisha, do these things, what the children will do? Never the children will come to us. So if we just like a difficult and do what we want, it's obviously the children will do it. So we adults, some of us, are setting a bad example. That is why this thing is out of control at the moment. God forbid, I wish that nobody else dies on it and the crew flatten. But I pray God, Lord help you out today. Thanks, Aisha.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for calling. And don't be a stranger.
I won't.
Thank you. So Nixta is saying, having friends and extended family in the smaller Caribbean islands, I can freely say that they have it under control because they depend on the foreigners to keep their tourism industry afloat. She says they have been opened their regional and international borders and they have strict monitoring of visitors with GPS and enforcement of mask wearing, social distancing and sanitary practices. She says yes, most of these smaller islands were under lockdowns and curfew to curb the spread. I'm gonna play some voice notes now. I see you guys, yeah? Let me hear what you're saying on the outside. Feel free to send those voice notes and messages to 771-1791.
And good evening to your listeners also. Aisha Wells, I am in no way have a problem with the government coming up with some way to find a way that people would be more responsible and wear masks and things like that. But while driving through the country, ever so often you're seeing all kind of litter all over the place. And I am asking, when is it the police are going to enforce those laws? And again, I say, if the politicians continue to be convinced that stiffer penalties would be a deterrent, when are they going to introduce stiffer penalties amongst themselves in the arena which they operate, so that the citizenry will have some protection against how the money is used and managed in this country? Or is it going to be the same old or things as usual, where as long as you become a politician, it's almost like you could do anything and get away? I'll leave it there, Miss Wells. Have a good day.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. Chris King says, whether you want to believe it or not, having a general election in this pandemic is what have us in the situation we are in. As far as I'm concerned, general election should have been postponed. Send those messages to 771-1791. I'll continue to read it. Somebody is saying, what we're doing wrong, Trinbagonians like too much feta and lime. We just can't stay home. We just don't care. Veronica Davis says, good evening, Aisha. The people never took the pandemic seriously in as much as there is a fine for not wearing their masks. You're still seeing people all over the place, clearly because police had to charge some of them this weekend for that same thing, and it doesn't seem to deter them. Ansel Cowers said, our problem is that some of our citizens are too damn hardened. People are still partying on the promenade, drinking and having a time. Caller, you live?
Yes, Mr. Aisha.
Yes.
You see, Paula from El Socorro is the exact thing that is really going on in Trinidad and Tobago. I could remember in March when the lockdown came about, instructions were given to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And just as the woman said, who is Dr. Rowley to tell me this? Who is Mr. Dialton? Who is the CMO to tell me what to do? I doing what I want. And this is why we find ourselves in this position. When it was on zero, on a flat, it still had people saying, oh, it's a real covered in the country, and they're lying, and all different messages the opposition given to the people opposite to what was given by the government. So we still find ourselves in a disobedient position by people who just do not want to listen to instructions. And if it continues like that, I just sorry to say, it will have more COVID and more deaths. Sorry to say it like that.
Thank you so much.
If people want to listen to what is given, we will have no more deaths and no more rising, but a flattening of the curve. Thank you very much.
All right, so Marcia Latrin says, what's going on with us here? We're not listening, still having parties, and some people are just doing plain nonsense. I'm going to play a voice note. Let's hear what you guys are saying on the outside.
Hi, good afternoon, Aisha. I've been listening to the program for a while, and I've been listening to this debate. I think it's not a matter of, so the caller that called before said that, the opposition went against what the government was saying. And I don't believe it's a political issue. I think we had it under control. The numbers were down. We had a strict handle on it. The CMOHs were doing a fantastic job. The numbers were zero for so long. What is my question is, did anybody investigate that the first case that started the community spread? We haven't heard anything about that. And if we had closed borders and all the other cases that came in were imported cases, then how did that one case start? I think that needs to be investigated, and that information should be shared with the public, because that is what caused this whole situation that Trinidad and Tobago is now in to start off again.
Thank you so much. That is something we were hearing about in the beginning when the COVID-19 briefings were held about, community spread, and we don't have community spread. I remember that being said so much in the beginning, and then we just stopped hearing about it. We know that we were experiencing community spread, but that is as much as we know. All the focus was paid on literally the numbers of cases that we had. So it would be interesting to get the answer to that. However, getting the answer to that may just be part of it. I think what needs to happen is that we need to find a way. Clearly, the fines ain't working. Police still charging people this weekend for not wearing their masks. They still having COVID-19 parties. People still doing what they want. If we have to get to the status of our neighbor next door, Little Grenada, 24 cases, all 24 recovered, the island is COVID-free, then we have to want to do it as a people. Caller, you live?
Yes, good afternoon, Aisha. How are you?
I'm good, thanks for asking.
Aisha, we have to really be real in Trinidad and Tobago and stop playing. We are so, unattached, or we so on the center fence. people saying it's not politics involved, but we eat, breathe, and drink politics in Trinidad and Tobago. Anything that you see going has some manner of politics in it. Those who saying it's not are deceptive because they're undermining the system of truth. Because they ain't showing your hand. They're like, like you're playing cards and you're hiding your hand, but yet you're bragging. Right. The reason why we're seeing this extensive amount of spread through Trinidad and Tobago, it is a long process. Remember, things don't happen just so. If we were able to lock down the borders properly, we wouldn't have had these uncertain cases popping up all over the place because we had good-natured citizens. Remember, as Sparrow said, there was good-mannered citizens and the architects of cap. You going out of the country into a foreign land and bringing in people undercover just for money. So you're killing me. You're no better than the drug lord. You're no better than the murderer. Right? The thief, the liar. Why you do that? You put everybody at risk. Now, they want to blame the UNC for. They have part in it too. Because we were putting in place measures to prevent people from violating our borders. The OPVs would have done that. They could jump high, they could put $1 million on a platter saying that it wasn't so. But if these vessels was outside, you're sure the kind of stupidness that's going on between the borders of South America and Trinidad was not going to happen. Yes, we have rogue officers within the security service. We have plenty of them who working diligently and hard. Some of them losing their life because of the mischief that some of the bad ones do. So this is a thing that is like a cancer in our society. The people who like to play secretive and underhand, they're doing things in the dark, and then they come out, look, dress up like priests and telling you, yeah, this wrong and that wrong and the other wrong. But nobody is seeing what's going on in the dark. They tell you, right, what you do in darkness, when it come out the light, sudden destruction will be your end. They have to dog and be exposed for the mischief that they're doing. You, Aisha, you have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much.
And stay safe.
Thank you so much. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, you're live.
Good day again,
Hi.
I'm not saying any of the fishermen being charged. I think that's where the spread is. This illegal thing where they're bringing in these venues for how much? 100 US and more. And that is where the spread starts. These fishermen, you're not hearing nobody being accounted to the stuff they're doing, bringing in these people. And that is where the spread is. I am very sure of that.
Thank you for sharing. Let me read some comments. Eden Thomas says, our biggest downfall with this COVID spike is ignorance. Nick Star says, discipline, production, and tolerance. Eric Williams knew exactly why he chose those watchwords. We go back to the phone lines. Caller, you live.
Aisha?
Yes?
I want to speak to a young man here. Boy, child. What form in? Form 2. What school? You speak to him, Aisha. Listen, remember I told you what one of those for years I will take the booklet from the grandmother.
Yes, I remember you telling me.
A number 1 footballer to it. You tell her what school you going? When in school? And what you have so far. And you're going to talk, you won't go on here from the poor to the poorest. And what school you going? Very intelligent.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How are you, son? How are you?
Fine.
Great. Could you tell us what school do you attend?
St. Anthony's College.
You're in Form 2?
Yeah.
I understand that you're a good footballer.
Mm-hmm.
What position you play?
Strike.
You're a striker. You had a real energy to be a striker, you know.
Yeah.
I used to play football back in school in my days too. I was a striker. I understand that, you know, you try so hard to succeed in relations to your environment. I want to commend you and congratulate you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hoping that you continue to stay on the right path.
You have a problem, you know?
I realize he's shy, Anderson. Don't.
Asking me to get the laptop. Tell her what school your cousin going to and what the grandmother doing so far. My grandmother got my phone. My cousin going to school in them country. She's from Chute.
Well, you're real bright in the back there, boy.
But let me talk about the right, Aisha. Is that what you do have this evening? And it's still down there, the opening and Monday coming? Yeah.
So he still does not have a device to log on for school?
That's the problem. And when the grandmother China, that's the mother, but the grandmother China. I remember I told you about that grandmother.
Yeah, you told me it was the granny.
Yeah, go here come. That happened in the head. And when you tell me the grandmother go out to get his phone, because probably the can't afford the laptop or the tablet or whatever. He will be getting a tablet or a laptop. A laptop more, even better. The school he's going to, and he loves the education, just as we love football. My dinner shy to talk on the phone, but I stop him, I know we don't know that train. I call him, and I'll be taken from Pension Quarter, 4th Street, to FaceTime this afternoon, together with my wife, and go door to door, Aisha. And we will get some names and the real problem. Now, I'm going to them what the big chain, try to talk and the big ring in the ears. He mother don't know why that big ring, or why that ring go ring. He mother don't know. Sometimes she go to work sleeper, I know my daddy. And somebody might not want to try. I talk about the fault of the points, Aisha.
Well, I'm hoping that we get a sponsor for him and his sister.
We will. Not only him, a lot more others.
So continue to keep me posted, Anderson.
Yes. I don't want to wait behind to see the piper in Chiren. I don't think that's Chiren the pipe. So I don't want the rep now. Want to see the pipers in the Chiren. I want to see Hines come in that community center. You Fitzgerald.
Well, remember you're talking in front of the child, Anderson. You don't want him to learn how to disrespect those in authority in front of him, Anderson. Don't do that. I already know how you feel about Fitzgerald Hines. The world knows how you feel about Fitzgerald Hines. Don't put small man through that.
And I want to feel about the children too. I want to feel about the children more even though than anything else in the world. Especially the children of this community. I tell you, me and show man, we are not getting how much good paper, 5 or 6 good paper. Got nothing we doesn't try. Down here together with Kareem Marcel. Got nothing we doesn't try in this community, Aisha. So my father just said that what they're born for. My father said that what we born for. So me will sit by and see some other go next week. I don't talk to Simpson. I know Simpson listening, David Simpson. Yeah, he's going to take up a track on two children in the term. Not only take up track to bury people. And you know, he saw us talk, and I know he's listening. Good afternoon, Simpson. I know he's listening.
Well, Anderson, keep me posted. Let me know what we can do as well to highlight what's happening. Thank you so much for calling in, hon. All the best. All right, let me read some comments. Famous Us says the opposition made 3 attempts to discuss COVID-19 in Parliament, but the dum-dums said it was not important. WKL seem like our problem is multifaceted in dealing with the COVID-19. While Famous Us says for the caller who wants to know about the OPVs, it have 14 patrol boats back up. Buy diesel for it now. You're on a roll, famous. I'm just saying, you're on a roll today. Send those voice notes and text messages to 771-1791. Let me go to Facebook. Sean Lewis says, Aisha, as a society, we are reactive and ignorant. The borders are vulnerable. He says, the borders are vulnerable. Some citizens are reckless, and those with businesses sacrifice the lives of citizens for cheap labor, which places us at risk daily, and it's a frightening reality. While Claire Carrington says the students can use a computer, laptop, tablet, smartphone. However, you must have access to internet or data. Melka Rock says, remember when the country was locked down, the people didn't get COVID-19. Soon as they released and eased it up, children went outside and the schools start to get COVID. Where did the children get COVID? It must be from the parents. Much how the government can do lockdown, we would be eating grass for true. Okay, I really tried with that one. Joanne Bonaparte says, Aisha, good afternoon. While Leno says the government should have those fishermen paying a heavy fine for bringing in those illegal Venezuelans here. Could you imagine if it was the other way around? Well, the funny thing is, on the weekend, I saw 78 Venezuelan nationals coming ashore. And the information reaching to us is that they came ashore, again, via an illegal boat off our borders. 78. And that was the ones we caught. The reality of the situation that we're in. And the thing about it is, whether we want to admit it or not, there is rampant COVID-19 in South America, and especially if it's coming into Trinidad and Tobago undetected, then we have some problems. I'm going to play another voice note.
Good morning, good afternoon, Aisha. Tobago in the house here. I'm listening to the program, and I hear Anderson come on and he bring on the young man. Kudos to the young man going to a nice prestigious school, and he's doing well, and he want a device. He was going good all the time, but then he started to jump on Fitzgerald Hines. Why you don't call Geraldine John with the one corridor movement, and she leave Laventille and went up to La Hoqueta, Alparo, and she was giving out furniture? Why you don't call she now for she to start to give out laptops and come down in the community where he does want to say the depressed community and the poor community, and that she could give out laptops and thing with the one door corridor movement with the boy Kingsley and all of them could come and distribute computers and them out there. But he want to jump on poor Fitzgerald Hines, and the same Fitzgerald Hines, when he was coming to the people, that same Anderson encouraged the youths and them to kick water on the man. You understand? When do so, do like so, Aisha. When do so, do like so. But I have a whole set of Kamalaya computers. You understand, Aisha? I could give Anderson a like IT and see if he could fix it. And he could distribute it to somebody, one of the less fortunate. I could do that. I had 3 in my house. They're just doing nothing. You understand? The same Kamalaya laptops, and then when she distribute to the children, one crash, we wipe it, we do all kind of things to it. And my daughter said, Mommy, this not doing what I want, and we put it aside. We have everything there. And then my niece on the screen, it started to go white. So I could send it to him. Well, the first one, my daughter first one, that's still by the computer place to get a screen for it because the screen crack. You understand? people like Anderson and them too deceitful. So let he call Miss Julian John and let she come and supply one door corridor movement, some laptops and things for the young people and them on the beat up. Tobago here out and out, and let he come out for me already. My back strong.
All right, so let me see what else you guys are saying on the outside. Claire Irish says Anderson did not help that young man by ill-speaking Minister Hines. Victor Charles says Fitzgerald Hines isn't poor. Anson Mark says 61 persons charged. Madness. We should be beating them with a bamboo. LOL. Caller, you live?
Hey, good day to you, Mr.
Good day to you.
You know, I from Jumpshot, I say, keep the country on a lockdown until the end of the year. You understand? Because people attain the second nature, which is their habit, lying, the party, and this one, you know, coming. These is things that get out of people here. So as the place open up, everybody just run wild and sort of hop on there, sort of thing, you know. We need to train our minds. People, as you say, people still are wearing masks and all these things. They don't care. They don't care. Look care about themselves. Look care about the family. This is a serious thing. Just building one June alone could kill a whole community. It's a serious thing, and people do not see that. And the borders on them, I mean, we're looking along, but the fishermen and them know you see like the palm of the hand. The lot of the tipping here, jump, pass up a river, come back out thing. 200 years for here, Spanish, Spanish. And them just bringing them in just because of the US money. This is a serious thing, and we're not seeing that. People like to party too much, and they're not following the ways of goodness onto another. My friend, it's a serious thing, and we're not seeing that. And I find the mask should be mandatory. You catch it out of mask, you'll charge you more money. Although I against the money, but still, to keep our safety is a serious thing, my friend. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. All right, so let me say good afternoon to Mr. Roy Kennedy from Upper Stephenville in Mover. I understand Mr. Roy Kennedy is an avid listener to the afternoon program. So, Mr. Kennedy, I'm hoping that you're having an awesome day. I'm hoping that you're staying safe, that you're social distancing, you're sanitizing, you're doing what you have to do while listening to me on afternoons. Thank you so much for choosing me, Street 919 FM. All right, so Sharon Francis says, good afternoon, Aisha. Thank you for going out of your way to help these children. Let me play some more voice notes. I see you guys. They're coming in fast and furious.
Hi, good afternoon, Aisha. I mean, some of us, the song so illiterate on the radio. You just listen to that caller from Tobago. What's she trying to say? If they voted for Fitzgerald Hines and Laventille, why Julian John must come and give them laptops? I'm trying to understand. Oh gosh, man. I mean, children listening to this and we just want to just be puzzled sometimes to hear how she speak alone. You could tell the individual, man. Before you encourage and say, yes, Fitzgerald and them should do a drive for the constituency, you talking about Julian John should come from where she come from to give them laptops? Oh gosh, lady, come on, man, and go and get your language together. You're not even singing proper.
Let's see who else is on the outside.
Yeah. Who is the people who was going to take the government to court to open back the bars when the government said close all bars? Who was the people who was going to take them to court? That is the cause of the COVID spread. Opening the bars and the beaches.
All right, let's see who else is on the outside. Caller, you live?
Good evening, Aisha.
How are you?
As you always talk solutions. No bacchanal, no pull down, no backwardness, no ignorance, no illiteracy. Let me start to tell the people what to do. COVID will be here a little while. You make your drink turmeric, garlic, aloes, lemon, honey to sweeten it, and you mix it up in the your sterilizer. You understand? And always remember, you put a little water and fill your sterilizer and use it as a drink. Where there's need for that, instead of the cold drinks, you want hot thing in the morning, hot tea or whatever. But a little bit of that you drink lunchtime and in the evening. And if you don't have it yet, you drink a little bit of that in the morning. You put it in portions and you drink and enjoy yourself. The lady who tell me that, you see, I send it out on the thing. So everybody who I could send it out to. And the lady who told us about it, she working where they're dealing with COVID. She got the COVID. She had complications, she had cancer, she had all that. And she organized the drink properly. And right now she going back and work with it. Right into the thing. Solution, my boy. No bacchanal, no he say, she say, them say, and they say. When we talk, we must talk solution. And she said the sunlight too. When you think, you make sure you got a little sunlight, that thing as usual. Solutions. You see, that's what I always tell you. Save, invest your money, make sure you're cheap and tight and focused. I don't want nobody to be poor. I hate poverty. So I don't and always remember, good advice boring. Let me tell them again. Good advice boring, and the truth does not change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mova. Thank you. So I'm hearing about home remedies going around to address the COVID-19, you know. So if you have to stock up on your herbs, stock up on your herbs. Sharon Francis says so many of them found money for the pyramid scheme and they couldn't buy a laptop. That is another kettle of fish. Don't get me started on that, Sharon. That is another kettle of fish. All right, so let me see who else is on the inside. Hip Chick says exactly, the place was locked down and every day people crying down the government, open the bars, etc. Still, they continue. Akira Lambert says that, I can't say that word, from Tobago. You can't work Obia. Oh God. Akira, I see a message. Let me just put it that way. I see a message. All right. Good afternoon to Kilolo, my big brother listening from England, Manchester. How are you doing, Kilolo? Hope to see you when I return, but you're all the way in Manchester. Melissa Matthews says, imagine that just because I am an MP of the constituency, I am supposed to mind people's children. All right, Akira says, every time Anderson calls, people call his name, they have to involve Hines in it. The PNM is who in power at the moment. They also have to put their hands as well, says Akira. While Judy Samir says, I agree with Mover 100%. Caller, you live.
Yeah, good afternoon, Aisha. Aisha, right now presently about a gas station here, Aisha. And people have on the mask, you know the mask? On that, Aisha, the mouth exposed and the nose exposed, Aisha. And it's going on all over the place, Aisha, it's going on. If people already hear, you know, going on and see what is going on, Aisha. I can't understand, and it's going over what, man? It's big people I see right now. Big, not just children, you know. And if this is going on with the adults, then what you expect for the younger one? What I will say now, after that, most of the younger ones, Aisha, they'll fall to take the VND mask, you know. The VND mask. And this is so different, Aisha. Oh gosh, man. So adults. Right, I'm going.
Yeah, we're really not acting like adults, you know. I saw a video on the weekend, caller. Thank you. Listen off here. With my brother and good friend. I know I love him a lot in the politics. He's always very feisty and he's a fighter. Got Christopher post alive. He was in a bookstore in Port of Spain and apparently they refused to sell him because his mask was slipping. Let me not be distracted. Because his mask was slipping, the bookstore refused to sell him. Now, while God Christopher is doing this live, Trinidad and Tobago, you're actually seeing where the mask is slipping when he's talking and it's coming down and exposing his nose. So the persons behind the register apparently was advising him, well, just readjust your mask and we will sell you. And, there was a back and forth with him and the people out there at the bookstore. And I'm thinking two things. To avoid confrontation, I would have just fixed my mask. I didn't see an issue in it. The mask should be worn properly once you're in the public space. And, of course, people can refuse the right to deal with you if you're not attiring the mask properly. Remember, you're putting their lives at risk as well. And I don't want to be at risk because of your ignorance. So I'm not sure how that situation would have ended with God. But when I saw it, I'm like, we're missing the bigger picture here. Everybody wants to be an activist. Everybody wants to be a hero. And nobody really wants to take into consideration that we're dealing with a pandemic, a monster of a virus. And we just going about trying to be famous on the situation. And, we really need to check ourselves. This isn't a competition. This isn't about politics. This is about survival. And I just think we should look at it in that way. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. WKL says the caller is so right. Masks are under their chins, close up to you in your face. Some refuse to adjust the mask, and it's the right thing. I'm reading some text messages. Good day, Aisha. I now hear Mova contribution. Ask him to sponsor a few laptops now. He can't afford it. Mova, put your money where your mouth is. Mova, they calling you out, Mova. They calling you out.
Aisha Tobago in the house here again. I heard the caller, but why the caller didn't pull up on Mr. Anderson about where he jumped on Fitzgerald Hines? As I said, damn if you do and damn if you don't. You understand? And yes, children are listening. So Anderson don't sound illiterate when he come and talk his foolishness on the radio. And I'm proud of my voice, my dear. I'm proud of my voice. And if you don't like it, too bad for you, my dear. But I'm proud of my voice. And I'm just saying, just as how he wants to come down on Mr. Fitzgerald Hines' throat, he should come down on the one-door corridor movement. You understand? Because there's nothing that Mr. Fitzgerald Hines could do. You understand? If the man trying to do things, they still as bad talk, Mr. Hines. So why you don't talk about that? But sorry, Aisha, I had was to call back in because, as I said, I'm listening to the program. And as Anderson jump out, I jump out. So I jump out back for she. Who don't like it, let them bite it. Ciao, Tobago in the house. Locked on and listening, Miss Aisha.
All right, Tobago. Let's see who's there. Call you live.
Yes, Aisha. Step back here again.
Hi.
I love that Tobago lady. Girl, you're right. We twang is we twang. Who don't want to accept it there, Trinidadian? We have a unique style of language. Imagine Americans like we language. English people like we language. We don't like we own language. We want to sound like an Englishman. Hey, you ain't hear nobody quarreling with the Germans or how they speak, or the Chinese or how they speak, or even all the Russians and all these various languages in the world. You're worried about how we little Trinidad colloquial twang will sound. Eh? And this COVID thing is a worldwide war. And in that war, if it is nighttime and you light up a cigarette or you light a match, the disease could see you and it could take you out. In the daytime, you push your head up, the man have a gun there, a COVID have a gun inside you and take you out. So wear your mask and stay safe. It's safety and security that we need to keep this thing away from us. If you're going flippant and not going carelessly, you're looking for it, you're begging it, you're dead wish.
They talk. You talk. Come talk with us. On the street, 919 FM.